Yeah, that we got that out of the way.
That's how I felt about the movie after we were done with it.
Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode of Dudes Watch a Movie podcast. I am the Notorious GNG.
And I am Dead Sprocket.
I threw you on a loop there. I didn't set you up.
I wasn't catching for it. What'd it do?
I don't know why, but your phrasing was fantastic.
I didn't catch it. Catch for it.
Yeah, I wasn't catching for it.
You know.
You make it sound like I threw like a physical thing at you, and you're like, I wasn't there.
That's how thrown off I am right now. I'm shooketh.
So Star Wars month or whatever is still going on. And since we watched the best Star Wars last time and the second movie in the trilogy, we figured, and by we I mean I will take all the blame for this.
As you should.
Why not watch the second movie of the prequel trilogy, which just also happens to be the worst movie that they ever made?
Yeah, I mean, they're still making movies, so there's still room for that possibly to be a thing, but as of right now, yes.
They're gonna have to try real hard to top that.
Don't underestimate. Yeah.
Is it even worth going through a synopsis? Like, I feel like, is there anyone that would not have seen this?
You know, to stick with, is it continuity or what is the word that you do things the same time every time?
Insanity.
Fuck off. No, it's not. You argue that with me every goddamn time.
So there's like this boy, right? And then he's not a boy.
He's a little bitch.
Yeah. And then now he's not a boy anymore. But then there's this girl that she's like, you're still a boy. And he's like, I'm not a boy. And then his pa is there and he's like, you're still a boy. And he's like, I'm not a boy. I'm stronger than you are, Dad. I'm stronger than you are. And then the movie ends. Is that a pretty good summation of the story?
Well, minus the fact his father is
that's
there.
True,
but
that's true. Obi-Wan was his paternal figure in that.
Ooh, this got 6.6 stars out of 10.
What does episode 1 have?
Oh man, I gotta go back.
It's like, I always hear that episode 1 is the worst one, and I'm ready to fight that to the death because holy fuck, this movie is awful. What's it got?
6.5.
0.1 better?
0.1 worse.
Oh no! IMDb is so wrong.
Metacritic is at 51, whereas episode 2, woo.
I could see it being 0.1 better because that sounds right to me. It's not good, but it's just a little bit better because of Darth Maul.
54. So episode 2 just got slightly improved from episode 1.
I think it's people this one was so bad they don't even remember how.
Can I go on this long ass rant of this synopsis, or should I keep it short?
I'll just do a short one, please. I'm pretty sure I've already covered all these points.
10 years after initially meeting, Anakin Skywalker shares a forbidden romance with Padme Amidala, while Obi-Wan investigates an assassination attempt on the Senator and discovers a secret clone army crafted for the Jedi. I had to try really hard to make it sound good because it's so bad.
Yeah. You know, from the paper standpoint, it doesn't sound like a bad movie. It's like, oh man, there's intrigue and a love story and there's some espionage, and
it's kind of the first thing I have on my notes, other than already dreading having to watch this and being my first line on here. I put down Attack of the Clones sounds like a good movie, like Attack of the Clones. Like that sounds like it would be a good title for a good movie. But oh man, it's a fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, for 80% of this movie, just it feels like nothing's happening.
It's exposition, an exposition, and why won't you love me? Exposition, battle, exposition.
The real problem I've decided, I'm gonna start the same place I started last one, the scroll. So the music gets me so pumped up that for a split second I forget I'm about to watch the worst movie, and I'm just like, yes, Star Wars, and then as soon as it goes away I'm like, oh right, episode 2, no. But kind of with what it was saying in the synopsis, I feel like there's a super cool movie buried beneath this somewhere, where it's just...
You hope so, but there is...
No, like, on the surface, there was one. They did not make it, but there was one sitting there.
Saying if you heard the movie is coming out and didn't see any previews for it just by the sound alone.
Well,
it sounds like
it would have been, not even, but way before it even gets to the point where they're telling anyone about it. Like, when they're writing this movie, they should have been like, so let's just scrap all the Padme and Anakin stuff.
Yeah, had they removed the romance section of it, maybe, yeah.
Let's make it more like, what did I put in here? A story about an assassination. So keep Padme in it, even like the assassination at the beginning. Make it all about that. And Jango Fett trying to do that and like put it on the seedier sides of the universe, almost like a noir movie.
I think the only thing is they have to have the romance in there for the simple fact of having a driving factor where Anakin is a shitty person. Like,
right.
Granted, I guess a driving force could have been the death of his mom and not the whole, I'm not allowed to love.
Yeah. Being kind of whiny the whole time, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been the driving force that caused him to turn. As Padme dies after... fuck it. I can't even try and
justify
reason. Yeah. I want that movie to be made. I want a Star Wars movie where it's set in like the grungier side of the universe and it's all like dark alleys and they're all in the bars and the cantinas.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
The movie.
You wouldn't like that. What are you agreeing for? It's about Boba Fett.
It doesn't have to be.
1313 was about it.
Yeah, no, but the movie doesn't have to be.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Let's just make it about a bounty hunter or make him the bad guy. Then I'd be fine. It'd be one of the few times in the movie where I'm cheering the hero and I'm like, yes, fuck him up. Fuck him up. No. Okay.
Unjustifiable hate.
No. I'm so off track now. I'm thinking about how bad. Every time I have a point to make, all I think was just, fuck, I didn't enjoy this movie.
Yeah. My first point on here, I suppose, I put Naboo starfighters. The future is chrome.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I noticed, a lot of the ships compared to the... would they be called sequels, the older ones?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Compared to those, everything is very shiny and flashy. Which, I mean, I guess she is technically royalty, but still, like, the starfighters themselves on Naboo, like, have that big giant chrome front.
But you also see, like, where it's heading. Because you see at the very end, kind of the beginning of a Star Destroyer taking off and things like that. And you can see they're getting, like, the Empire is all about the boxy, militaristic looking stuff, but the Republic wasn't so much. They were still more focused in the arts.
True.
They had a lot more round designs and floral patterns and shiny shit.
Very naturally aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
There was the opener. The guy was, there's no danger here. We'll be fine. Immediately there was danger.
And they were not fine.
Explosions.
They point out pretty early on too that Count Dooku was once a Jedi. He cannot kill anyone.
They keep saying that.
That's what Mace Windu says, and he's so blind, as are the rest of the Jedi. But what struck me for the first time ever is, how do you just cease being a Jedi? It's like, he used to be a Jedi. How do you just stop?
You just stop following the ways of the Jedi, I suppose.
I guess.
Because they follow an order, and my assumption is if you no longer follow the order, you become kind of an outcast, so you're your own free-roaming Jedi, or Force user would probably be a better term.
The whole thing was just strange to me. I just imagined it being like, he just stands up during one of their council meetings one day and goes, I think I quit. I keep seeing this whiny bitch Anakin over here.
Nah, I ain't about this. If he's about to be the head leader of all of us, he's the Voldemort of the Jedi Order. He became strong and decided to go his own way. Which leads into the whole Grey Jedi thing, which I know you don't know much about, but it's... I think they said Qui-Gon was supposedly a Grey Jedi.
That doesn't make sense, though, because he was still with the Jedi Council and
yeah,
he
you
died.
can still be a Jedi, but it's on the order of either good or bad. You kind of do things for your own, like, how you believe it to be true. Think of Joel from The Last of Us. He does the desperations because it's for the good of what he has going on.
It just seems like that would be a Sith. Because the Sith is like, we're doing this no matter what.
It's the gray. It's the in-between.
It doesn't make...
It's the chaotic... No, maybe not chaotic neutral.
But the Sith aren't inherently...
Maybe the true neutral.
I shouldn't say they're not inherently evil, because I'm out of my depth here, but it seems like on the surface, the plan for the Sith makes sense. He just wants power, and he wants to put the same thing as Thanos. Basically, he's like, I want to bring order to the fucking universe, but I wear black, and those guys don't like my thoughts, so I'm the bad guy.
Hashtag Thanos did nothing wrong. Oh man.
We get real early hints of Anakin being a whiner and a creeper towards the beginning too, when they're outside of the chambers, and he's like, I don't think she liked me watching, when she turns off the cameras and all that stuff, and he's just like, you look exactly like I picture you in my dreams.
All right, creep. We met once when you were like 7.
You've grown. Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't remember how bad it was. But they lay it on real thick how much he's in love with her, and like he hasn't. I just imagine him just all the time.
He just uses the Force to complete that.
Those are his peak years of like going through his changes, and he's just over here with nothing but old Ben Kenobi.
He wasn't old, it was young Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, that's why it was O-L''. Old,
okay.
Not old. That's a different guy.
That would be creepy.
That would be worse, actually. That whole intro scene really just kind of seems like a waste, though. Like the chase through the city, the assassination, all that. Like the way it's shot is really...
It's excessive.
It's hard to keep track of what's going on and where you're at, and it's not in any way that exciting because of that. Like... It's so much green screen just flashing by that I never, even when he's hanging on by the actual, first when Obi-Wan's hanging onto the camera,
it's
or
like
whatever
the drone.
Yeah, the drone.
Droid, the assassin, or I wouldn't say it's an assassin droid, but it dispensed the boogs into her bedroom.
It just, it never at any point seemed like he was actually hanging from it, so there was no real...
Well, this is 2002. We're
fair.
Flexing our CG muscles as hard as we can flex them at this point. The early 2000s was nothing, but let's see how crazy insane we can go. I feel like, anyway, for a lot of the movies that came out. Mm-hmm. And for this one, like I even put a note in there about how like it almost seems half the aliens are people in costumes, the other half are CGI, where they probably could have gotten away with everyone being in a puppet like costume, but to allow them to have their CGI, like they're like, hey, this is a new technology, this is the future, let's fucking use it, and use it they did.
And I mean,
almost do in excess.
It worked out in the end though, because I mean obviously it should have been ILM that was doing that, all the Star Wars movies, and like you have to start somewhere, because what fucking Thanos looked like just a straight up person. Like, I mean, you don't even think
they clearly have gotten better over the years, but still.
They go to the bar on Coruscant when they're chasing the assassin, and up on the TV they flash what looks like these droids playing robot.
And they're playing football.
Yeah, did I just say droids playing robot?
Yeah, droids are robots. But okay, cool.
It's because I wrote robot in my notes first time. But they're playing football, and that actually might not be far off. Like with how bad, I know you don't follow the sports balls or anything, but the big thing right now is they're having issues with concussions and CTE, and like as the years go on after they retire, they have like brain damage, and it's causing aggression.
In the least bit.
Right? 300-pound dudes just headbutting each other.
And still, like, we'll improve the helmets a little bit, but like you're getting faster, you're getting stronger, your protection is not up to par.
If things keep going the way they are, it might get to the point where either NFL is replaced by, and I hope this doesn't happen.
Don't say esports.
Esports? People playing Madden on ESPN?
Or like VR.
Or, and I hope this is, because this would be way cooler, fucking robots playing football. I want to see huge machines smashing into each other.
I feel like the big problem with that would be consistency in the builds. There'd be a lot of cheating.
Well, it would have to almost
have a performance enhancer. You'd have mechanical enhancers.
You'd have to have some sort of just like standard issue piece, and then it's like you're all controlling it, so it's no longer you're just all that. It's gonna be esports, damn it. It just turned into esports. It's people with a controller, but it's real life robots, so it's cooler. The destruction.
But my connection with my robot wasn't enough. This is why we lost.
They should make it like Griff Ball 2, when you score a touchdown, the thing explodes.
off track.
Yeah,
because that movie is so bad, you just don't want to talk about it.
I was
Just
really
talk about
searching for
something else.
positives in the movie. I was like, they can kind of predict the future.
I will admit the one thing I scoffed at immediately after the whole explosion. This is still in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Was the trope of the head slump that says I'm dead. She's talking to her and she's just like, eh. I don't know if it works that way. Then again, I haven't watched anybody die, thankfully.
You know, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that trope in a while. Actually, now that you mention it, I think people finally got away from that, and now they do like
because they did it so much.
They do like the real slow one now.
I never understood the closing of the eyes thing. I always thought that was a natural like reflex that would happen anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, because in some movies people die and their eyes close, and the other time they do that. I guess I don't know.
I think as an actor, if they ever did that to me, I just wouldn't stop laughing. Someone just caressing my eyes.
They probably just CG'd his hand in anyways. I don't understand in any way, shape, or form why Padme thought it was a good idea to put Jar Jar in charge in her stay.
That's actually what I put on there right next to him as a say. For real, how did Jar Jar become part of the Senate?
Why the fuck does she put Jar Jar in charge? Like, I get that they've bonded after the events of the first one, but no matter how long you've been around that guy, there's nothing he can do to be like, you should be in charge of an entire in any way, shape, or form. Like they try to make him seem like he's matured and he's wearing robes, but he still talks like a fucking idiot. And he says stupid shit. Like that guy is not who you put in charge.
The one part I put in my notes was his line to Annie, "Misa bursting to see you, Annie." And Annie could give less of a fuck, and he just continues to brood on about the princess and about how obvious she makes it remarks of how not wanting to have Annie's D.
Yeah, they tried to replicate Han Solo and Leia's kind of their relationship of him being kind of overly aggressive and her resisting it. They have no chemistry.
Nope.
Like Leia, there's little moments.
Oil and water, man.
Yeah, there's little moments where Leia will make a sound like when he's right about something, and she doesn't want to admit it, but it just straight up seems like Padme does not want Anakin's dick.
And he's the futuristic neckbeard.
Well, I did have Anakin is literally a nice guy at some point in here.
Milady.
He calls, that's what he says. He says Milady. But I just thought of something. So they're talking about who she kissed for the first time or something when they're on the fucking island. And she asks, "Are you gonna Jedi mind trick me?" And he says it wouldn't work on someone as smart as you. And he says it really sarcastically. What if he actually is Jedi mind tricking her into liking him?
I mean, it wouldn't be out of his element.
I know. Well, I've never thought of that before. What if that's what's going on? Because she just does a real hard turn out of nowhere of being like, seriously, no, to I love you. I know everything I said, but I don't mean nothing. I love you. That's exactly how she says it. Oof.
So bad.
I'm just gonna go straight to the whole thing with Anakin and fucking Padme.
Have at it.
It's the entire movie.
It really is.
So we get a lot of real good lines. Obviously the infamous one, if you have that written in your notes, you think
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere.
There you go. Not like you.
And then I put in, like your creepy ass self.
Oh my God. So
not like you.
That's the line that wins her over. Like that's when he kisses her the first time, and then she's like, "Oh wait, no, that was bad. You're bad." So Empire Strikes Back, right? Famous for its Hoth scene with all the snow.
Han was a little rapey.
Well, we're not going there. I'm just. Thematically.
Okay.
Terrainally. Ew. I didn't like the way that one came out. Empire is famous for snow, right?
Yeah.
Clones is famous for sand.
Well, yeah, they're on Naboo.
Well, I'm just saying it's
I guess on Tatooine. Yeah.
What is sand other than like a dry form of snow? It covers everything, and it's really hard to look at when the sun's out.
It doesn't fall from the sky.
That is valid.
I mean, it could, I suppose, in windstorms. Anyway. Good point.
What's the other line he says? I can't breathe. I'm haunted by the kiss you never should have gave me.
I didn't write that one down, but it was just as my favorite one, however, is that last one where Padme shuts him down. It doesn't really shut him down, but they start falling for each other harder. Something about ever since you came by, I feel like I've been miserable ever since you came by. Towards the end. It's just like, oh damn. And you can't take a hint.
No, that's Anakin saying that he's been miserable since.
No, but she says it too.
Oh, okay.
There's a line there where she says it to him. Confirming his already shit feelings of her anyway.
Oh my god. Every scene where they're arguing over what their relationship should be is so poorly written. It hurts me. It's like robotic and a machine trying to do poetry. It's so awkward and not the way anyone would talk.
It's like an algorithm wrote a romance novel.
Oh my god, yes. It's so bad. And sometimes like the responses to what they're like, they'll be having a bit of dialogue back and forth, and it'll end with a response that sounds like it's from a completely different like section of dialogue, or they said a different thing, like, or maybe they just weren't in the same room together, but it comes off so weird.
Honestly, at those points though, you start to forget you're watching a sci-fi like fucking opera, and it's more of a romance. But then they really try to suck you back in with the battles.
Yeah, and it's like, if they did it good, it would have been fine, but they didn't. It looks really nice, and it's shot.
That's what it was. That's what killed it for me. Especially like when you pointed that out, all the clones are CG.
They're
You could have wore some fucking armor, and it would have been fine.
I never noticed that until this time.
It was upsetting.
It was, and it's almost slow. Like, it's an uncanny valley level of CG, where the plastic, it's like it's hard to tell if there was a person and then they CG'd over the person for some reason. But then there's some movements that they do where it's just like, oh, okay,
The armor
whole thing is CG.
where it shouldn't.
Yep.
I did notice on Jango Fett's armor at one point during his little battle on the rainy place, I can't remember what it's called, it flexes. His chest flexes. Yeah, one of the little breastplates like kind of folds as he's leaning over. Whereas in my experience making said armor with plastic does not fold.
And Jango Fett, greater than Boba Fett.
I mean, he is the original. I'll give him that. Boba Fett is a clone, technically. He's unaltered, whatever the fuck that means compared to the other ones, but he's supposedly an unaltered clone.
Basically, they just let him grow naturally is all it was. They didn't accelerate anything. They didn't put any sort of like gene splicing, I would assume, or some other weird stuff like that.
And during that scene, it suddenly struck me that if they made a Republic Commando movie, that would be fucking dope. For those who have not played that game, you probably should, but it's real good.
That would be perfect for that assassin movie. Send the Republic Commandos after the assassin.
It makes me feel like, though, the Republic Commandos weren't really a thing. Just that, you know, for a game they were, but like in the actual cinematic universe, they never mentioned anything about it, so...
They don't seem to really... I mean, the clones show up in this movie, and then briefly in the third one, and otherwise all you have to watch for it is the super good, like, hand-drawn style animated show from, like, 2002, or the new CGI one, which I didn't like at first, but it's okay.
It's very stylized.
Yeah, and it's way more...
I've heard a lot of good things
kid-friendly
from people, though, about it.
It's good, but it's just definitely, like, it lacks the animation, like, the weight of it is really bad. Like, you would understand if you saw it. It's hard to explain. Also, going back to Empire, we have almost mirroring space chases where the roles are reversed. So in Empire, Han is being chased and they go through an asteroid field. In this one, Jango's being chased by Obi-Wan, and he's like, I'll lose him in the asteroid field. And then we get the best sound in all of Star Wars. Wow. And that tied in with the Slave One motor, and it's lasers, the super fast. Oh, it's the best ship in the world.
Honestly, my favorite motor sound comes from the pod race. I don't know if it's the Bulbas, but the
Yep.
It's like, ooh,
good sounds in this universe. A whole bunch of them. I wish my MVP was sound now. It would have been a good choice. Except for now that I've noticed when the blaster makes the TIE Fighter laser sound. I never knew that before.
Yeah, I want to say it's always the green lasers that do that, but whether or not that holds true throughout all the films, I don't know. But yeah,
It's something I'll be looking for from now on, though.
if you ever watch it again.
Just any of them. Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna return to this film? Really?
God, no. Usually, if I want to watch all of the Star Wars, I go on YouTube and I watch the, I forget what it's called, the fan edit or fan cut of it, where they cut out all the Anakin stuff until he's Vader. So episode 1 takes about 10 minutes to watch. Episode 2 takes about 7.
Didn't they have one too where they took out all of Jar Jar Binks' parts?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's much better. Honestly, if this movie was just about Obi-Wan's side of the movie, probably wouldn't have been that bad.
No, yeah. I could
Like
see it.
his whole thing of trying to hunt down Django and then figure out who hired him, and then the whole end battle would have been a lot better.
I agree. Now that you mention it, take out all the Annie parts that have anything to do with anything.
And then you still get to keep the political espionage of Palpatine playing everyone and how the Jedi are in relation with the Republic. Just cut out Padme and Anakin. As soon as they leave to go to the island, just never come back to them until the very end. And it's like, oh, shit, they got on, they're here now. It would have been totally fine with me.
100%, because his story doesn't necessarily drive the whole story altogether. Mm-mm. Like everything else that's going on could go on even with him not being there.
And they could have still got kind of the same emotional weight at the end with them getting married, because you can just assume that while they're on the island, all that stuff takes.
Was that a wedding at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because it sure as shit didn't feel like it. Because there was nobody there.
It's because they have to do it in secrecy. Jedi aren't allowed.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it looks like a wedding dress, but this doesn't seem like a ceremony. But then I was like, right, they can't. Because
do you think they killed the guy that wed them? No one can know.
It was probably a droid that wed them anyway, and then they just wiped the memory.
And you get to see Anakin's hand for the first time, which is really cool.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the Skywalker trope.
Speaking of Skywalker tropes, I've got one for you. I think, especially now with kind of like we were talking with episode 8, people talking about Luke being a moper, and then we found out with Empire that he's always kind of been a moper. Mm-hmm. I think it's it's genetics.
A genetic thing.
Like, it got passed down from Anakin to him. And you know what? Leia's got some Anakin in him. Yeah, or in her, I should say.
They're mopey because they've had tragedies, but then add the mopiness to a romance.
There's someone that disproves that, though. So you go, Anakin beat him over, passes it to Luke and Leia, and I've decided that it only retains in the male gene, so it's got to have something to do with that Y chromosome. Because Leia then offsprings to Ben Swallow, who is also a fucking moper. He's a male Skywalker.
You were born into the light and then go to the dark because of your uncle.
I think they're bred to be mopers.
It's a tragedy, though.
I don't know. I think the opposite is true about the female of the Skywalker family, though. I think those people get Padme's blood, who is not a moper. She's the opposite, and she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no Anakin man. But then Leia, also strong. And if Rey does, for whatever reason, turn out to somehow be along that lineage, it would complete the trifecta. Yeah. Which that would be fucking weird. How progressive would that be? He accidentally made a female-empowered movie like in the 1970s.
I mean, tis the era right now. It's the movies we got coming out.
They keep forcing it on us. Get it? The Force? Star Wars? Nice. Is there anything positive we can say about this movie that we haven't? I mean, we got Django.
Positive.
Cool. We got his ship's cool. Anakin's hand is cool.
Really reaching.
Yeah. Man, you got a lot of notes.
DWAM. I decided to start using the periods now instead of having to have spaces. The droidkas, those are dope.
Droidkas are cool, but they were in the first one.
It's true.
Super battle droids.
Were they in the first one? Because they seemed quite surprised when they came by.
They capture them at the very beginning when they're on the ship. Because remember, they roll up and they pop bubbles.
Right. Yep. Okay. Boy, let's see.
I don't have anything else positive.
I don't think I do either.
All right, I guess we go back to the negative stuff. One thing that a lot of people think is a positive that I just vehemently disagree with, they're all like, yeah, but at the end when Yoda fights Dooku, how cool is that? It's really not. He's just
For 2002, it was cool.
I didn't think it was cool then either.
And
like
then it
just watching him, the way he jumps around and stuff. It
doesn't fit his character, absolutely not. But he's supposed to be younger and more spry, but he's still old as fuck because he walks around with a cane and a chair.
It just doesn't.
A hovering chair. He's like the Professor X of Jedi.
He kind of is.
Like he's the council leader and whatever the hell else.
It's just, I don't know. I don't like visually the way it looks. I don't like mentally the way that it, like the thought process of I'm going to jump around and flip around. It's like you have the advantage of being so low to the ground that you could just chop at people's ankles and stop that fight.
He's the odd job of the Jedi Order.
Oh, fuck. Odd job. Fuck that game. Fuck James Bond.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Fuck this movie. Let's see. The clone troopers look fake. For such a long movie, everything in it seemed rushed.
I mean, I would agree to an extent. Some of the scenes to me felt a little drawn out, but maybe the more important aspects felt like, oh, we have to include this because we have to do something about it in the next one. Yes, I agree with that.
And it seems like there's like those drawn out scenes are generally on Naboo, but it seems like there's other ones where it's just like the fight between Obi-Wan and Jango. Feels like it could have been probably like 5 minutes longer to seem a bit more epic.
Yeah,
but they just end it and he gets away, and then they do the ship chase, and I feel like they could have cut out 5 minutes of Naboo and give us more of that, or the fight at the end, stretch that out, show us some more of the clones actually like in battle. It's the Clone Wars or Attack of the Clone. It's something with clones.
They did have their battle in Geonosis, but they,
I'm sure they'd show more of that.
Yeah,
I want to see them fighting like the what do they call them? The droids. Are they just droids?
Yeah, they're just droids.
Well, I want to see them fighting the droids. Battle droids, thank you. See him get blown up by some super battle droids with their wrist rockets.
I will admit, on that topic of things being rushed, once they get captured on Geonosis, they spried up that arena battle pretty quick. From being captured to then filling in a big giant arena with people and then getting them chained up, like, damn. They could have escaped between then and that point, but
you would think. Oh, I've got another positive. I didn't write it down, but I've got a positive. Padme's white skin-tight suit. Yeah, that was a good one for me.
And how it just happened to get ripped off at the midriff so that show her abs the whole entire time.
Yeah. Oh, 13-year-old heaven. It was so good.
My girlfriend dropped me the hashtag Padme deserves better for the whole entire movie, compared to alongside fighting with Long Annie and being in love with Annie. She deserves better.
She really does. Oh, and then dying of a broken heart. Fuck off. She deserves better. Maybe he Jedi mind tricked her so much that it broke her brain when he stopped controlling her.
Theories.
Oh, also Mace Windu. He's cool. We'll give an upside to Mace Windu.
Samuel L. Jackson.
First 80% of the movie, not that great. He's just kind of there and
exists.
He's not really doing a whole lot. As soon as they get to what is it, Geonosis? He said Geonosis, and he walks down the thing and pulls out that purple saber. That's where he flicks the switch, and instantly I'm like, that's why he's my favorite Jedi. Fuck yeah, that purple lightsaber and being a badass and killing Jango Fett.
I will admit. Oh, go ahead.
Jango kills a Jedi.
Yeah.
Better than Boba. Go ahead. That's all I had.
I was gonna say, losing train of thought. Oh, the Jedi Council themselves just seems like a bunch of lazy retirees.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think if they were gonna be the Jedi, they'd be more active about it, but being the higher up council, I guess that's what you retire to. You become a council member and you somewhat retain your mastery of the lightsaber, which also came up another topic I wrote down. Why do they have to be specialized in lightsabers? Why couldn't they be like super blasters or something like that? Why did they have to be a sword?
It probably ties back to the Jedi religion or some shit, and then because blasters, Tom, are so uncivilized. Oh, we also got Hello There, which is a big meme on prequel memes. You should check it out sometime. Hello there.
What's that?
It's Obi-Wan just saying hello there. When he goes into the diner and talks to the four-armed guy, that's how he greets him.
I will admit that I thought that diner guy was kind of cool. However, is he supposed to be the equivalent to a bartender and hears all the gossip? Is that why he's so like knowledge in what's happening?
Yeah, they don't really go into that too much. I assume he used to be into some other line of work.
I put there, was he an old bounty hunter?
I think
Like
he
if he
used to,
knows the difference between droids are checking for symbols while they don't look at the entire thing.
Yep. Or a smuggler, or something shady. Because in that place, he looks like he's just a line cook.
Yeah. With the CG mustache they gave him.
He might own that place though.
That's true. It's a racket.
Potentially, it's a front for
A front, not a racket.
It could be a racket. Who knows what he charges for those burgers?
Burgers.
Let's see. I think I've hit everything, and I really just don't want to think about this movie much longer.
And my favorite line in the whole movie could have ended right then and there. If it's not in the archives, it doesn't exist. Fade to black, roll credits.
All right, I guess I'll give up.
Also, I want to know more about this Jedi who started the clone stuff. Everyone doesn't seem to have known that.
I think it's Palpatine. I think it's Palpatine operating under a pseudonym.
Cephadarius or whatever. I can't remember his name. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess then that would make sense. But at the same time, if it was, yeah.
So they give two different names.
That might. Yeah.
They give, they talk about the person that originally ordered it, and I believe they call him Tyrannus. Like they think they're talking about Dooku's actual Sith name is Tyrannus, but then they talk about the other guy who's been coming and doing the check-ins, and that's the one that's dead.
Jedi Sifidus.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Huh, okay. Yeah, no, then that makes sense. Because I was like, I'd like to know more about this Jedi who just decided to order a clone army. And then now that I think about in episode 3...
well, that's why I'm here.
Turns them all there.
It is kind of weird to think, though, that Palpatine's end goal seems to be to create two armies to fight each other.
It's a mask. so in there's a line in there where he says we are going to create the greatest army this galaxy has ever known, and battle droids are known for being dopey as fuck.
Yeah,
and not very strategic. So my assumption is the battle droids are the quantity and you have the clones who are the quality. You have less clones.
It's kind of funny that once they do finally establish the empire, that quality, just like a growing company,
exponentially just drops.
Yep, they go right back to the droid. Except for now they're humans.
I suppose what is it supposed to be like clone degradation over the years? They just get worse and worse. A copy of a copy of a copy.
Well, I believe it probably comes down to they stop doing clones, and they're just we'll let anyone join.
Join the Empire.
It's kind of like the army. Just you got a body that works and don't have asthma? Come on in.
I will admit the one thing that puzzled me the most, and call it a continuity error or something, but in episode 3, granted I know we're talking about episode 2, episode 3 the troopers have like camouflaged armor and like different colors and stuff to fight in the forest, in the woods. It makes sense. And then suddenly we go to, A New Hope, and then just all white armor in the woods. You got scout troopers, yeah, but they're still white armor.
Yeah.
So,
well, he didn't plan it that far ahead, okay? This movie came out 20 years after that one.
Yes. But I mean, it could have been something to take into consideration.
Oh, I mean, he seems more like a big picture kind of guy.
If they would have painted it on, I wouldn't have to bitch.
It's the little details that George Lucas not so good at. My last and final note that I put for this was just meh. Meh.
Yeah, my last line was hashtag Padme deserves better. I don't like how it ended on a kiss. That's pretty fucking lame. Whereas episode 5 ends with them fading away at a space battle, like almost an impending doom. Shit's gone real. Whereas this one's like, yeah, it kind of sucks. We're kind of at a lull right now. Let's have a wedding.
But it does kind of fit the ending of the other two middle acts of the other trilogy.
Kind of.
Because Palpatine has now arisen to power.
He's got
full
the upper
power.
hand, but
Yeah,
still, like, it doesn't close on that note.
Yeah, the other two, Empire and Episode 8, both are like, ooh, this isn't good. But then this one's just like, it's kind of bad, I guess. But I'm also kind of rooting for Palpatine to take over and, you know, turn Anakin to Darth Vader as soon as possible. Like ASAP.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
But no, we get to have that drawn out for Episode 3.
Which, not so bad. 3's okay. Still a mopey bitch.
He just has more drive now. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have Padme distracting him. Towards the very end, obviously. Oh yeah, speaking of her white costume, I was like, why do I have Stitch so conveniently placed on her nipples?
Right there.
That way,
just a little bit right there.
Boop, boop.
Right on those.
Props to the costume designer, I suppose. Also, when Anakin goes to save his mother, it's the most anticlimactic thing ever. Hey, I saved my mom. She died. Well, shit. Better wipe out this entire tribe.
How did they do it so bad too? Like, that's such a universal thing. It should have been easy to make it like a really emotion felt moment. It's like, oh fuck, he went to go save his mom and he was too late. But instead it's just like,
he's gonna be so too late that it's right at that little, here's her life bar and now we're here, and then Annie gets to come in at this point before it closes. Oh, instead of right here already and just being like, no, my mom's already dead.
Yeah. And just not like, they didn't go for it.
Also,
but then he kills them all.
The women.
And the children.
The children, too.
Little foreshadowing.
Which, yeah, right. Which makes me wonder, what do Tusken Raider women and children look like?
A lot like the standard ones, apparently.
I would assume they look exactly the same, but they just have miniature uniforms.
It's kind of like dwarves, you know? Some people don't think there are female dwarves, but there are. They just can't see them. It's the beard. Oh man, should we start stealing from PlayStation Access, and every time I mention Lord of the Rings we'll just go?
Maybe. One other thing I'd like to note, some of the impracticalities of those Tusken Raiders costumes. How do you see out of this? To be an effective hunter. Maybe they've got super science, and it's
Super science.
That's all sciencey, because they look like a real technical group. Out in their tents with sticks. When your intimidation factor is, I could do it better, but I do not want to kill your ears.
Yeah, or you're waking the neighbors.
Yeah, that's true. It is after 10 o'clock.
Can we please be done with this?
Let me look through my notes. You deserve this. You picked this. You could have chosen anything else and just ignored your stupid ass rule of 2 on 2.
You keep saying it's a rule, and I'm like, it's not a rule. I just thought it'd be interesting.
You don't have to subject yourself to something so terrible. Although I subjected us to some terrible things.
Yeah, that's true.
Blood rain.
Yeah. You're still punching way higher than I am on that. Blood rain and the fifth element. Come on.
Nah. That's a whole nother episode entirely. I'm not even going to go into that. Nope.
It's a good thing no one watches these, otherwise I would have alienated a couple fan bases tonight. James Bond and Fifth Element fans would rise up.
I'm gonna end it there for you, because honestly, I'm gonna start jumping around the entirety of the story, and that's just not fun to watch. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your what the fuck moment?
My what the fuck moment was realizing that all the clones were CG. I totally forgot that was a thing. I didn't realize that they were all that. Every time when I go to conventions and I see people in Stormtrooper armor, I've seen a few clone armors, and so I thought, hey, but nope, they're fucking computer generated.
Never noticed until that viewing. Which I guess that means they did a good job.
Because honestly, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it since years ago, so. My little brain just kind of overwrote that being better than it probably was.
My what the fuck moment is Joel fucking Edgerton is in this movie as Anakin's stepbrother, I guess. So
his brother-in-law.
Yeah, brother-in-law. Yeah. No,
I didn't know who that was.
Stepbrother.
Was it? Oh yeah, because his mom.
Brother-in-law would have to be Padme's brother. Yeah. But I did not know that either, and I was just like, I know that face. I know who you are.
From what?
Joy, I'm glad you asked. I wrote them down because every time I say this, I put it on the spot and I blank. So Warrior is the one that I always think of. He plays Tom Hardy's brother in that.
I didn't see that movie.
That's the one most people have seen. Zero Dark 30? Ooh, there's one on this list you have seen. It's called Life.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, he's one of the scientists. The one that's got kind of his eyes are usually a bit more closed.
Okay.
And he was in Black Mass. I don't know if you saw that with Johnny Depp.
I didn't. I wanted to.
He's in It Comes at Night. Remember that movie where nothing really happened? That was the guy.
Yes.
But him being in that movie, I was just like, oh shit. Never knew that.
It was a very small part anyway. So
yeah, and I mean it's the beginning of his career too. What was your favorite scene? It's a toughie.
Honestly, a lot of the memorable parts, say portions and parts, the more
memorable parts of this movie
was the Battle of Geonosis. And the only reason why to me it's as memorable as it is thanks to Battlefront. The PlayStation one, the old PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because I guess it was Battlefront 2, they had that on there. And because the movie had just come out. And it's a legit fun level to play. And so that's the only thing that makes it really, yeah.
It was good too.
Favorite.
It's one of the few highlights of the movie is seeing all the Jedi in action together and how they're like
all the glow sticks starting cracking out in the crowd.
I like seeing them all like work together and they're watching each other's backs and they're working kind of in unison to fight off this huge horde,
which isn't necessarily a very Jedi-like thing to do to work in a team. It seems like
because every time, but most of the movies and stuff we've seen is them after the fall of the Jedi.
That's true.
And I don't know if this is normal or not, or if it was like hey, we got to get there and do this or else it's something bad's gonna happen, because they all think that Anakin is the chosen one technically, I guess. At least the council members would, and they're right. My favorite scene, I'm gonna switch it because I think it's also gonna be on Geonosis. I had Obi-Wan versus Jango and their fight, but with how it ends kind of short. And like you can see that CG2, like when he's flying around and falling off the side and all that stuff. I think I'm gonna change it to Jango versus Mace Windu. I just Mace Windu in general going off on people, but how they have their little fight and then he just off with his head.
Disarmed him.
Yep.
Maybe that's why the Jedi don't fight. Well, no. It's like you could always get your blaster back.
Yeah.
But I noticed the Fets don't have a very good track record with jetpacks.
Yeah.
Every time Jango fought with his jetpack, it got knocked off or blasted and in disrepair. So
for something attached to your back, you think you'd have a bit more control over it.
You'd think so, yeah.
You'd be more used to it.
But
did you? I assume you did. Did you have an MVP?
I didn't write one down, but I can come up on the fly.
You know, we're on episode like 942, and you still ain't prepared.
No.
Yeah.
I need like a template that opens up every time I take my notes, and there wouldn't be a problem.
It's 3 things.
I'm just saying, so that I just start my notes and I don't have to like.
I always think about after we're done to remind you, but I secretly just want to get here and have you still not know, so you have to be put on the spot.
At this point, I don't care. My MVP for the entire movie in itself would probably have to be me drawing this out so I can think. Because right at this time, I don't want to necessarily pick a character, because there's been times you picked MVPs who aren't necessarily characters, it's the off-screen thing, but I don't like the CG guys. They overdid it. However, movie for their time, they did pretty
snuck it in there. Yes.
So actually my question is, no, that's not matter. I'm just gonna go with Jango from the get-go. One, because if he had his own like bigger part in the movie, maybe it would have been interesting, but his brief entering of we just keep him here and we made a clone of him and he just lives here, to we gotta go, and the first place he goes is Geonosis to
where
go
he
check
dies.
up. Yeah, like I feel like had they given him more of a story, maybe he would have been a little bit more interesting. I do like the mysteriousness behind him, but he's my MVP just because he has that quality where he could have had his own story expanded.
And I really like his armor. Like I don't care that much for Boba's armor, but I really like the blue and the silver look.
You just like the color scheme? Because I say it's the exact same armor.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I think it looks cooler.
The future is chrome.
Yeah, except for it's the past. Their timeline's weird.
It is.
My MVP was my boy Mace Windu. I don't think I need to explain that. I feel like I've already done it. He's got a purple lightsaber. Samuel L. Jackson. That's all you need. Most of the movie it was Obi-Wan Kenobi. But then I remembered, no, it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's Mace Windu. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Come on. Oh.
Obi-Wan, Ben, Larry, Kenobi.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Anything else you want to go over, or are we good to wrap this up?
I mean, I'm okay. As far as the Facebook poll, I hadn't put it out yet. Hopefully by the time you watch this, if you've gotten this far in this film, congratulations. We love you. The votes will be up. I do have a list, however, right now, if you haven't seen the post, which maybe you will this time. It's all whether I post it before you post this or not. Movie month ideas. Also, feel free to submit your own. I attempted this poll before. It obviously didn't work very well. But if you have ideas better than our own, please let us know. We've come up with Jungle June, Justice June, cop movies, Jack to June, obviously muscle movies, or maybe car thief movies.
Oh,
you know, gone in 60 seconds. Jackie June, Jackie Chan movies. It's High June.
I like that one a lot.
Lampoon June and Cartoon June is all that I have so far. July's looking a little short, so if you guys have any other months other than just June, obviously pick something else. Let us know. But other than that, no, I don't really have anything else. No other plugs. So
yeah, me either.
Cool.
Awesome. Hopefully the next video should be out on the 1st, and the computer will not be a piece of shit this time. And we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
See you.